Greetings. What I'm going to do is run through some solutions to our practice exam problems. I'll do this in chunks so that the videos aren't super long. I'll start with problems 1 through 4 here, and I'll just run through these derivatives, and then in the next video I'll move on from there. So with problem 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a constant, and we have a constant rule, so our derivative here is just going to be 0, right? The derivative of a constant is 0. For number 2, x to the 18th is a power of x, and we have a power rule. So remember what happens with the power rule is we bring the exponent down, the 18 comes down, and then the new exponent is 18 minus 1. So 18 minus 1 is 17, and there we have it. That's a 7, not a 2. Let's make that look like a 7 just to make sure. So this is 18x to the 17, and that is our second answer here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that one and highlight this one. For number 3, this is also a power of x. It has a fraction or a decimal as the exponent, but we can still use our power rule to get the derivative. So we bring down the 0.4, and then the new exponent is 0.4 minus 1. Be careful with that. My computer wants to solve it for me. No, thank you. I can do it on my own. When you do 0.4 minus 1, you get negative 0.6. And so my new exponent is negative 0.6 here. That's supposed to be a 6. So just be careful when you're subtracting 1 from decimals and fractions. Make sure you're careful. And it's okay if you get a negative exponent for your answer. And then finally, question 4 is the first one that's really a challenge. And I've given you a hint here. I've said, hey, before we do this, we're going to need to convert this to a power, because we don't have an actual rule for radicals, especially not in the denominator. So with 5 over the square root of x, there's two things going on here. First of all, the square root of x is in the denominator. And secondly, the radical symbol's there, which we usually write as a fraction. So I'm going to first convert this to a power like this. The radical symbol is interpreted as x to the 1/2. And then I'm going to change this to a power with a negative exponent, right? If that x to the 1/2 is in the denominator, I can move that up and write it as 5x to the negative 1/2. Now I'm ready to find my derivative using the power rule. Same rules apply. So this is f prime of x equals, I'm going to bring the exponent down. The 5 is just a constant multiple, so I'll do this in 2 steps. First, let's write down 5 times negative 1/2. We'll bring the exponent down. And then again, be very careful. When you do negative 1/2 minus 1, you're going to get negative 3 over 2. Okay? So now we just want to simplify this a little bit. Most people will write the answer like this. 5 times negative 1/2 is negative 5 over 2. Oops. Come on. And then times the power of x, x to the negative 3 over 2. So that is one version of the answer. And that's perfectly fine for what we're doing. But usually if a problem starts out in radical form, people will write the answer in radical form. And to do that, we've got to basically take that power of x and put it back into a radical form. This, by the way, this is a negative exponent. I just want to make sure you see that. So there's a couple things going on. The negative 5 is still in the numerator. It's not moving anywhere. The 2 is still in the denominator. It's not moving anywhere. And then for x to the negative 3/2, since that exponent's negative, it will end up in the denominator next to the 2. And rather than writing it as a fraction, 3 over 2, I'm going to write the half part as a radical, and then the 3 part is x cubed. So typically that's the way you'll see the simplified form of that answer. and we'll just highlight that in green. You do not have to do that if you're uncomfortable with that. Let's not worry about trying to get that. Just get that yellow answer there. But if you're comfortable with simplifying radicals and negative exponents, then go ahead and rewrite it like this green highlighted answer here. So that's the first 4 problems. I'm going to reset this, and then I'll make another video for the next set.